Now students, another terminology that is very important in terms of sound chapter is the frequency, and most of the students are very afraid of this topic, I know, and this topic I bet you student is the easiest one. Okay, so what is frequency? Let us discuss now. It is the number of vibration produced by the vibrating body in 1 second. Yes, of course, earlier we have discussed about time period, and I know that time period is like the time required to complete one oscillation. One oscillation, that is actually one vibration, like this. Okay, this is one vibration complete. So the time required for this wave to complete is actually very low, very less time. Okay, earlier I have told you, I remember, that we can calculate it in the form of seconds. Yes, I was right, but here is the condition that this oscillation is actually covered in a parts of second, a very few parts, or we can say in a milliseconds. So now how would you measure milliseconds? It is not easy for you to tackle one oscillation time period. Okay, now instead of this, now what we going to do, we actually going to measure how many oscillations are get to complete in 1 second. Okay, now let's suppose I'm giving you one example, like there is a door, and if a teacher is asking you that in a queue students go past through this door, and teacher is calculating how many students are passing through the door in 1 second. Fine, in 1 second, if let's suppose 5 students are passing through it. Okay, so now the teacher can say that the frequency is actually 5. Okay, the frequency of students passing through the door is 5. Okay, but here because 5 student is just a number, so will there be any kind of SI unit? No, because number is not having SI unit. But because this was earlier discussed by the like it is firstly told us about the frequency by the scientist Hertz. So in respect of them, we have put the SI unit of frequency as Hertz. Okay, so Hertz is the SI unit that gives you an idea that this number of vibrations are actually passing in a 1 second. If somebody is telling you then that the 10 Hertz is the frequency of the wave, so we can say that in 1 second number of oscillations are actually 10. Okay, so this is how we can also calculate the time period now. If in 1 second 10 Hertz, that means 10 number of oscillations are passing. So what would be the time for one oscillation? Yes, definitely that could be also covered. Okay, if we need to required in 1 second, okay, like 1 second, we are having 10 oscillations. So we can also write like this, that 10 oscillations will be covered in 1 second of time. So one oscillation will be taking 1 by 10 seconds, that is 0.1 seconds. Okay, so this is very short time period. Okay, this is why we have coined this term, and after that we have to provide frequency term to calculate the number of vibration in 1 second, so that we get to know the time period of one oscillation also. Okay, again students, because it is going to give the number of vibrations in 1 second, that gives an idea of shrillness also. Okay, what is shrillness? Like in Hindi we can say it as the tikhapan. Like in a sound of baby is having more shrill voice, okay, compared to the man. Man is actually having a loud voice and baby is having a shrill voice. Okay, इनकी आवाज ज़्यादा तीखी होती है compared to man. Okay, that is why we can say that the frequency that is produced by baby is more compared to the man also. In the same manner, woman is having the highest shrillness because the vocal cord are such in a manner in both baby and man and woman, so that the shrillness, the voice that is coming out from the inside is actually a shrilled voice. Okay, so shrillness is actually depend on the term of frequency, and if we want to know the relation between the frequency and the time period, so we can say that frequency is actually reverse of time period. This is how we have find the time period with the help of frequency. So this is the formula. If we get to know in some questions what is the time period, so we can find frequency also, and if you are having a frequency value, then you can also find the time period.